Hey, Scott Fresener here with t-biz TV, t-biz Network. I'm at the Long Beach ISS show, and I found a couple of guys just hanging around outside looking for women or something. I'm with the Andy Maines, Maine, and Pierre, and I don't know your last name, Pierre.
Pierre's fine.
Oh, in disguise. I didn't know that. Pierre. It's Pierre. So Pierre.
You
These.
probably couldn't pronounce it.
All right. Is there a real? I mean, you don't want to tell me, huh?
No, it's Yamnitsky.
Oh, Yamnitsky. There we go. All right. Sounds a little Eastern Bloc, or I don't know where.
It's Polish.
Okay. All right.
Long time ago.
These guys are, I think you have day jobs, but they're here at the show, I think, probably to promote the shirt board, I guess. And the shirt board is, I think, one of the up-and-coming. I will only say that because I think probably T-shirt Forum probably does more, but you guys are probably the friendlier, got a nice little click going on here. And it's the shirt board. I have to get it right here. The shirtboard.com. And so how many hits do you get a day? I mean, how many? wait, don't pull it up too high.
I added the line at the bottom, theshirtboard.com.
There we go. So what's your traffic?
So we're pretty close to 30,000 hits a day during the week, Monday through Friday, and then
really?
yeah, and then on the weekends we're probably 10, 12, 15,000. So
See, I never knew how much of things like that dropped off on the weekend. Like on my side, I never know whether to take it down on the weekend or during the week. But for you, it'd be the weekend to be your slowest.
it seems like people come in and check it while they're working, and they have a question. They come on over, post something. So and the traffic seems to be going on while people are working. Once they go home, they just check it. Quite a
Yeah,
bit less,
okay.
so.
But you've also
Right.
got forum junkies that are going to be out there in the middle of the night and on weekends.
What are they? Don't they have a life? You know, you see these guys and you see them posting all the time. And when on our old forum, the U.S. Screeners Board, people were just there like 24/7, and you want to know, don't they?
My wife asks me constantly, don't I have a
You were
life?
the guy.
I have a wife, actually. It's not, don't I have a life? Yes.
Well,
Yeah, she
which is
considers
okay.
herself a forum widow.
Yeah.
But I tell her, baby, this is our retirement. We have to build this one up. This one's for the big bucks.
You sell banner ads, so I mean, there's some revenue. Probably not a huge revenue. I'm guessing not a huge revenue stream, but you're working that up. Or am I wrong? I mean, you.
Of course, and I'm in this totally for the bucks, and I'll tell you right now, last year I made a big $2,700.
Holy crap! Not quite an income. A few nights out for dinner.
No, the whole point is that forums need to be built. Forums don't spring up overnight successfully, and we're building successfully each year, and we're really proud of attracting the intermediate and advanced people. T-shirt forums is a wonderful place, but tends to cater more to the beginners.
I agree. I agree with that. Yeah, I think you have a reputation for a little higher end.
I think where advanced people come to become experts.
Now, how many members do you have? You call them members, subscribers?
We have 1,200 members, people that have actually registered. We are getting ballpark 10,000 unique IPs every month. So
that's a lot. Your unique IPs would be individual people.
So individual addresses that people have logged in. We figure out some of them might have cell phones, or they might go hotel or travel somewhere. So conservatively, we're guessing about 5,000 people read it every month. And there's a group of maybe about 300 people that post actively, meaning post once a week, or
And how many posts do you have? I mean, you must have like X number. I mean, like 10,000 or 5,000 or what? What's your guess?
Those aren't numbers I know off the top of my head.
I don't know off the top of my head. I would say 10,000 is possibly.
It's right there in the
more.
statistics,
it's
but I don't know.
More, yeah, but it's available right in the statistics, and it shows that we're averaging 100 posts a day. So there's 100.
Really? That's a lot, I think.
So that's a good number, considering that they're not related to the barbecue sauce or cooking chicken wings. They're really 90% plus is related directly to screen printing or running a business. So it is really information that is relevant. So anybody who's in the screen printing industry, is an artist working in the screen printing industry, is a business owner, is a printer, they can find information that they need that would be helpful.
And it's the shirtboard.com, and they can sign up. It's free. I mean, some people that don't know what forums are, maybe some people that have never really been on the industry forums, you have to be careful of what you're reading and maybe kind of make sure that the answerer is maybe giving you a good answer and not with a little attitude.
Take some things with a grain of salt. Some answers given by known industry experts even sometimes have to be taken with a grain of salt. But I think when you start seeing trends, I think when you see a whole bunch of people saying this new ink from so-and-so is really the bee's knees, it's worth giving it a try.
Yeah, they're not shilling, or maybe the guy that's answering isn't really an employee of that company.
We see very little of that.
Do you cut those posts? I mean, who's the police of the board?
I'm probably we do. I'm probably the most active on that stuff, but we just don't see that kind of garbage.
So do you have any abusers? I mean, I know we all know years ago there was a few people that were the major abusers that you had to ban every IP they came in from.
Well, they generally don't even make it to the board. We were just discussing that success, unfortunately, breeds spammers, but those posts don't usually remain more than a few hours.
And I think a lot of times a reader of a post can tell if the guy's being off base. I think sometimes you can read in the post that there's attitude there with that post.
I think when they're selling illegal pharmaceuticals, you know darn well that it's not
a screen print board. What?
Yeah, why bother? So you know that's a waste of time. But no, like I said, we see very little stuff that could even be suspected of being shilling. That's generally done when somebody poses as a user and claims that something is just a wonderful product when it's actually the boss's son or something, and we just do not see that. And sometimes we even play police and check out where a post is being made from.
We get photobombed. I wasn't sure. I couldn't quite tell. Now you're a printer. So you guys aren't just two guys that said, let's just do a forum for t-shirt guys. You know.
What's so interesting about this is we're at the exact opposite ends of the spectrum. I run a very small one-man shop specializing in small runs, whereas Pierre runs a small to medium automated shop, even specializing in contract printing. He's going after a completely different clientele than I am, much more sophisticated prints.
How did you guys meet?
On a forum.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? That's funny.
We call board buddies.
Did you meet on my old forum or on the new forum? Or?
I think Pierre might have first seen me on your forum.
Yeah, I've certainly exchanged some communications with Andy originally back on the screen print message board, but really didn't talk about much more until later on.
But then there was a few boards that sprang up, of course, to take the place of your board after its demise.
Yeah, even I did one, but it's too hard. I didn't want to be the board police.
Probably where Pierre and I did a little bit more communicating and knowing who each others were.
Now your screen name is appropriate for your shirt wearing here. Your screen name is Frog, right?
Yes, and there's no big mystery with that. That's because my company is called Frog Prints.
Oh, go figure. There you have it. And your screen name is Pierre?
Blue Moon.
Oh, Blue Moon. Okay, yeah. So if I go to your if I go to your site, Blue Moon. There you go. Yeah. Now you run one auto, two autos, room full.
One auto. We're a small, almost a boutique shop. We try to cater to the guys that need high-end process, simulated or four-color process. So the customers that we have are customers that are very particular about the quality of the stuff that they're going to get. They want the color matching to be perfect to a quarter shade of PMS, and so those are the people that. Other people have a problem servicing.
The people everybody else goes, we can't do that,
exactly.
You know. Yeah.
And so what happens is we get customers that are loyal. They can't go anyplace else. They don't have a choice because nobody else will take them. And
then price is secondary.
To them, it is. Yes. So we are more expensive than an average shop, and we provide more. And you know, we just last week had one print on 4 times before we actually printed it because that's what it took to get it right. Yeah. So.
I don't think the average guy knows that the sampling that you go through, they show the customer the sample, they make a change, there's another sample. I don't think the average customer who sees a shirt hanging in Walmart knows what maybe went to get to that level. You know, they think they just happened.
Yeah. Our customers know because they're paying for it. So
I think the average guy that buys it, or a newbie at the show, he sees a great print and goes, wow, that was great, must be magic. They doesn't realize what somebody went through.
They don't even know if it's printed with an inkjet printer or a transfer or a screen print sometimes.
They have no idea. Boy, talk about a lot of inkjet here, though. The Epson printers are everywhere.
There's something else I want to stick in, though. The third part who's absent of our triumvirate here is Dan Campbell, of course, Dot Tone Dan. And that's what makes our forum sort of unique by its administration and its owners, is the fact that we come in from 3 different angles. Dan, of course, is an artist and professional separator. So he can approach the industry from that angle and answer questions at that angle, whereas, of course, Pierre can handle the more sophisticated printing stuff, and I can help out the newbies. And we are starting to attract more newbies now. But that was, I think, the thing that made our forum a little bit more rounded, is, like I say, 3 guys from completely different backgrounds doing completely different parts of the industry here.
And you met Dan online?
Yeah. Once again, yes.
Yeah.
Dan, of course, we know from your old forum.
Right, but did you ever know him in person? I mean, you've met him in person, obviously, now, but before.
This is the first time Pierre and I have met face-to-face.
That's bizarre.
We've been business partners for a couple of years, plus 2.5 years now.
Yeah. And I don't travel much. I come to this show because I'm a California boy, and this show is doable without making a major commitment. It's going to sound kind of lame, but my wife and I have always had dogs, and we had 4 German Shepherds for many years, and we did not travel. We did not travel for 20 years. And supposedly we were going to be dogless even this year, but we do have a new dog, but he has a place to stay. So the wife even came to the show with me. She's going through a little separation anxiety, but
you can't resist. My wife and I had 8 labs at one time. We used to show labs, and it was the same issue. We had to hire a dog sitter to come and they live in our house because they were our kids, and so we had the dog sitter who we had for years. Of course, now the dog sitter's dead and the labs are all ashes, but I certainly understand that.
My wife does pet care, but she would not trust our dogs with the average dog sitter or kennel.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you there. No.
Our dog is with the woman that we actually rescued it from, the head of rescue for this breed, Rhodesian Ridgeback, so she feels comfortable. And he feels comfortable there because he actually lived there for 6 weeks. So.
Now, have you met Dan, though? Back to our who's met who.
Pierre
I have met Dan, and I've stayed at his house, he stayed at my house, so we're close contacts. At some point in time, we even talked almost every day. So,
but of course, Ohio and Florida are a little closer together.
We're still ways apart, but we get a chance to see each other 2-3 times a year, and we work on some of the other projects together too. He does all the separations for us. So,
who houses the board? I mean, the actual forum, the t-shirtboard.com.
It started on the servers for my company, and then we eventually moved it out, so it's now a separate entity. And there's actually a tech support, a company that hosts it, provides tech support and services, and anything else that we need.
So who's the actual? I mean, like I send you the ads. I know that you'll get an ad up. I don't know. Are you the?
I'm the most hands-on guy with end users like you or members. Pierre's sort of the brains behind the computer part of it, and Dan just slacks off and doesn't do a damn thing. I'm going to have to get on him for that. No, that's not true. I saw him the other day deleting spam posts and so forth. So the point is we all chip in when we see something. We all have the exact same administrative privileges.
See, I took my board down, and I put a link to your guys' board because I got so tired of cutting posts and the spam and having to babysit it. And I did that before, although I was pretty hands-off with the U.S. screen forums. I let a lot of the users take care of the spammers. But I decided this time around I didn't want to be that guy, and I'm glad you guys are doing it.
People constantly tell us they like our balance. They don't like a total hands-off because the boards do go to hell.
You know, a couple of things that are different. We have been very upfront from the day one that if it doesn't need to be there, it needs going to be cut. So people understand that censorship is involved. The board started as no RWB, which meant, you know, he wasn't going to be there, stuff was going to be cut. So from day one, everybody knew and understood stuff that doesn't belong there, that for whatever reason, even if it's politically incorrect, if it's not the way it's supposed to be, it's going to go. And
actually, so, in that vein, we made a section that people have to go out of their way to sign up for if they want to see or talk about controversial subjects other than screen printing. So no screen printer needs to hear people knocking the right or the left or this church.
No, you don't need that at all. No.
There are people who enjoy discussing, and there is a section for them, but it's all by themselves, so it doesn't disrupt the forum.
And so that was one, the fact that we were going to cut whatever doesn't need to be there. And the second one was we solicited and tried very hard to get industry experts to join. So we had Mark Coudray, you know, for a while. Richard Greaves was on there, and several of these bigger people that actually understand the concept. So Greg Kitson is still pretty active on there. So if somebody says something stupid, you know, and even if they have 10,000 posts, just because they're active on a forum, but they don't really know what they're doing. They've been doing it for 30 years, but they don't really know the process is right, and they've been doing it wrong for 30 years. We do have somebody who's really, truly an industry expert to put us back in line and try to get us back on track. And that was really important because on some of the other forums, there was a lot of shade tree mechanic type of stuff. Yeah, you know, you push it here with your hip while you're printing this, and then, you know, put a look. It's like, that's not the way it's supposed to be done. And we tried really, really hard to have the proper methodology and somebody with authority to actually bring those things back in line if that's the purpose.
That's important. I mean, I post occasionally on forums, but it's hard to find time. You know, like Mark probably has a hard time finding time. Richard Greaves types with one hand, so he has a hard time getting that, and it's difficult. Even on my forum, I had a hard time getting people to post consistently, the experts to post consistently, and then you get some of the people that are pseudo-experts posting all the time, and those are the guys you got to be careful of. Listen, we're going to run out of time here. We're going to run out of battery. We're running out of sunlight. This is movie making. We're in Hollywood, right? Running out of sunlight. This is Scott Fresener from Long Beach. You're probably in freezing weather still back east? What are you at?
I'm not back east. I'm up in the Bay Area, and it's only about...
Oh, you're in the Bay Area. You're back east. I'm sorry.
About 10 degrees cooler up here. We don't have a winter either.
Clean deal. You're
below freezing. So in Cleveland. So
Cleveland. You're on the news. Yeah, I was watching that news when I was sitting in Phoenix, and it was 70 degrees out. You know, I summer in Bowling Green, and so I was watching the Bowling Green. We were like Cleveland, you know, minus 10, minus 20. Anyway.
I could not imagine going back there for a show.
No, not at all. Anyway, we're in beautiful Long Beach, California, ISS show. Scott, Pierre, Andy, and with t-biz TV. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.